it's a beautiful summer day here at Gary's Garage. We're going to start to deconstruct the Riviera, start taking it apart from the back end. We're going to kind of assess the condition of the parts as we do it. We'll document things that we need to replace. For example, I can tell already trunk seal is bad, but we're going to start with the bumper. I mean, the bumper looks great. Actually, it looks real nice, so we'll take that off first. Ultimately, we're going to kind of work starting from the back, working to the front. So we know we want to bump out the dent that's in the gas tank. We got the pinion seal, and we're also going to prepare it for paint. So we'll take stuff off. Saves us money on the paint job if we can prepare it as much as possible. So again, we're going to start with this bumper, and I'm going to have Alex help me. It's a pretty heavy deal. There's bolts underneath. If you look up there, you can see. We'll try to show you, but we'll start with the bumper removal. So here are the two bolts that I'm going to take off, that one there and this one here. And I'm going to take the whole bumper bracket off with it because it's actually easier to get to than the one where the bracket mounts to the bumper back in here. These are the two most accessible, easiest to get to bolts. Those are the ones that I've sprayed with the WD-40. And hopefully that WD-40 works, and you know, we get those suckers broke loose, son. Big bolt, man. Big old American muscle. Detroit iron. That's why we were able to employ so many Americans. All the steel. One car took a dump truck load. Yeah, it's coming. So I got the two bolts off on the passenger side, and now to hold it up, I'm putting that jack there. And then I'm going to take the two bolts off this side, and once I get that done, then I'll just have Alex drop the camera and help me, and we'll just take and set this off to the side. I'm also going to put a blanket down just to keep it from getting scratched up. So. Screwdriver, big screwdriver. So, the only tough thing about big nuts and bolts is they take a lot of torque. They take a lot of torque to turn them. So that's one of the benefits of this auto restoration work, is it's good exercise, and it sometimes isn't any different than if you were lifting weights. You got to hold your arms up forever, turning, applying pressure. It's a good workout, actually. All right. Set it on the grass for now. Okay fans, so we got the bumper off as you can see, and I'm going to continue to deconstruct the back end. I'm going to take these filler panels off next. Eventually then I'll remove these tail light lenses, the tail lights themselves, the license plate bracket holder here, pretty much the whole back end of this car. Again, it'll make it easier for us to, you can see we can already see the bottom part of this gas tank, so that'll make that gas tank removal a lot easier. So these, they just have bolts that are underneath here holding them on. Looks like I'm going to need a swivel here, son. Let me put one back up in here. I just realized that this middle one needs to come out first, it looks like. So this one here, because this is sandwiched. See how that's sandwiched in between these two? So this one actually has to come off first. So now I'll go to this side and take these two out. You know, the other neat part about working on these old cars is you can always see how, see, so they were missing a bolt here. Now, they tell me it's not uncommon in Detroit, you know, old iron, that there's lots of stories, guys working on the cars, you know, maybe miss a bolt here or there. It's pretty day in, day out work, right? So, and there was, again, no competition, so the quality wasn't quite as good as what it is today. Not to say that those weren't hard-working guys and gals back then. I'm sure they were. So, but the quality standards were different. So, but it's kind of cool to see, you know, as you deconstruct, you know, maybe there was a bolt missing here or there. At the end of the day, it didn't really affect the overall, you know, performance of the car. You can see here there was something going on here. We'll have to figure out what this gap is here, but. And it's likely this car, you know, it may have been a part before, so again, I don't want to discredit the original manufacturing guys, who I have a ton of respect for. Okay, that was only one. So this was in there crooked. And the reason it was is because this was on the inside of this and this was on the outside of that. So I'll eventually have to figure it out, but I think they're both supposed to go on the back side. Yeah, because the screw, the threaded part's in the back here. So this one, we put it back together, we got to put it on the back side, not on the outside. And this is just some more steel. It looks a little bent, but we'll straighten it out before we put it back on. Probably repaint it. Okay, got my last bolt out on here. I thought I did. Nope, there's one up there. So I'm gonna put this back on here just to hold it. Just so it's not hanging down. And then I'll take this last one out up here. Kind of hidden on me. I need an extension. Son, can you give me extension? Is there a theme here? So I got the bolts out. See, this one up on the end was kind of hidden up in there on me. And it's a little bit bigger bolt. So now I had cracked myself up because Alex gets more exercise than I do, because he does help get me parts or tools as I need them, and it does save me, because getting up and down is kind of killer. So I appreciate that, Alex. So we got these two parts off here. Now again, when you're taking a car apart, what I do is I'll take all the bolts that go to the parts, and I'll put it in a little plastic baggie, and then I'll label it. That way I know where they go. Even though I've taken a car apart, there's lots of parts, as you can imagine, right? And one of the problems that people do is they just take all the bolts and they throw them in a box, and they kind of know where things go, and then at the end they're, you know, scrambling for trying to find parts, and they wind up with a mix mash of stuff. So I learned a long time ago, just, you know, take the few minutes to put all the bolts together that go with the parts, label them, makes it a lot easier to reassemble. And that's not just a whole car, but I mean, just you know, anytime you're doing any kind of work, especially if you're not going to finish it that day, you don't have to try to remember. You just label them and then you know. Neighbors are having a picnic, you know, having fun and stuff. Me, I'm doing cars. It's what I've done my whole life.